I'm Lucas, and today I'm going to tell you everything that I love about the all-new Z1 hybrid compression rod arm monoball. The compression rod arm on your 350 or G35, the bushings are notorious for wearing out, cracking here at the parting lines. What that's going to do is kind of give you a delayed steering response, not going to be inspiring. So the bushing on the compression rod arm, it's notorious for premature failure, especially on lowered cars. As soon as you lower your car, change the suspension geometry, you're going to put this bushing in an unfavorable position. Can lead to cracking around the seams. So what that's going to do is that's going to give you a kind of a lazy, delayed feel in the steering response. It's going to be noisy if that bushing separates from the housing. So we engineered this solution to give you the most performance with the least amount of NVH. So taking a look at the monoball itself, it's a one-piece aluminum housing. The center shaft is sandwiched between two Delrin races, so that gives you a nice smooth operation, gives you all the steering response that you want, allows the arm to articulate. The metal on Delrin joint helps to keep NVH down to a reasonable level. So to further kind of illustrate the inner workings here of the monoball, so we've got the one-piece center shaft, which is between two Delrin races. The Delrin halves, the races, are held captive by this locking collar, and the best part about this is these show up at your door, 100% assembled, ready to go. If you find yourself in the position where you need to upgrade or repair a failed bushing, we're gonna go through the full list of the options that are out there. Looking at the stock compression rod arm itself here, obviously we've got the ball joint side that mounts to the knuckle, and the inboard bushing side, which is gonna mount to the chassis. So the bushing mentioned earlier, as this arm is going through the suspension travel, this is where we're going to start to see the failure in the stretch of the bushing, again, especially on lowered cars. Options to correct this range from a OE bushing replacement. So on a scale of 1 to 10, we're looking at like a stock G35 bushing being a 1, and to a full-blown metal spherical SPL compression rod arm bushing being on the 10 scale. So again, G35. The G35 bushing is going to have a smaller center section here. It's going to give you more bushing. It's going to be more compliant. That being the 1, a 2 being a 350 bushing. 350 bushing, there's less bushing there, so it's going to give you a little bit more of that feedback than compared to the G35. Just being how there's less bushing material there. It's a thicker center sleeve section. Urethane options. So press out your old bushing. There's a few different options for the urethane. We got white line coming in on the scale at like a 4. The bushing's a little bit smaller as compared to like an energy suspension, so it's going to be a little bit more compliant. So next into the energy suspension bushing, give that like a 5. And the urethane is going to give you more feedback from the stock bushings. You're still kind of putting them in an unfavorable position to where some wear can occur on those. And then from there we hop straight to 10, which is the SPL spherical. It's going to give you good feedback, super harsh. It's going to be there's a lot of NVH that's going to be associated with a metal on metal spherical bearing, and so insert the Z1 monoball. So we're going to put that in at a 7, kind of a nice bridge between the urethane and the full-blown white knuckle race car, right? So again, the feedback is going to be awesome on these. So it's kind of going to give you everything that you like about the spherical bushing, while still giving you a reasonable level of NVH. Let's talk a little bit about the install for the monoball. So this is directional. So the diameters on the one-piece shaft itself are different. That's to match the stud on the chassis. That way we're contacting the best we can. So the arm, which push your old bushing out, you'll notice a chamfer on that arm. So that's going to be the same direction again that we're going to push the bushing in. Come with an install tool. Critical to use the install tool. That way when you're applying the force, you're pushing down on the housing itself, not directly onto the center shaft where you could potentially damage the Delrin races themselves. The other nice feature installation wise on this is this lip here on the housing. So it's going to provide a nice positive stop. So you're going to push all the way down till that's seated against the face of the arm. After that's through, we got grooves cut in the arm. So the bottommost groove on the housing is going to be for the neoprene boots. The one just above that is going to be a spiral retaining ring. So that's going to snap into place to keep the monoball captive on either side of the arm. So you can be assured that the monoball's going to stay in the arm. It's not going anywhere. So if you don't have access to a press or not looking to do it yourself, we make it super easy for you too as well. You can buy a whole replacement arm with the bushing already pressed in, snap ringed, booted, ready to go for you. The other nice feature about that to go in this route as well is the ball joint inside, non-serviceable from the factory. So definitely check out to make sure if you do gonna do the installation yourself or use your old arm, make sure your ball joint end is in good shape as well. Again, avoid all those issues with the new arm, new ball joint, ready to go, super easy. So that wraps up the Z1 Monoball. If you have any more questions, sure check out the product listing at z1motorsports.com.